Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. It really helps me out if you like, comment, subscribe, and if you would consider purchasing from one of my sponsors in the description. Thanks a bunch.
All right, a little bit ago I put out a review of Accurascale's Class 92, particularly Caledonian sleeper livery, and then I got a bunch of carriages. I got 18 of them, in fact, and this is what I found. And actually, one locomotive can pull all 18. It doesn't super duper like it, and of course it doesn't like it at all with the magnetic couplers that they did say they were going to include, but they didn't include the tension lock ones. But either way, I decided that I was going to go ahead and double head, and if I just would have waited 2 more days to do my review of the carriages, I would have been able to show you this. Man, lucky for me, they made 2 of these in Caledonian sleeper livery, so I was able to get a second one so that I can double head, and it's pretty much exactly the same locomotive from what I can tell. Yeah, exactly the same, except for it has these rings on them. I'm not sure what those are all about. I'll have to go look into the history of this, but it's pretty much the same exactly, same issue with the couplers, which means I'm gonna have to glue these ones in place again, also with a urethane cement, and I'm really not sure what happened here. This is kind of a big fail on their part. I mean, it does work without some sort of anything extra in there or with some glue in there, but it really shouldn't come to that. They've been putting couplers onto trains for, well, since they started making model trains. And I'm not sure why these ones were such a fail. But I think one of the issues is it's pretty clear that Accurascale has some quality control problems, and it carries through these, it carried through the carriages, and I hope they get them worked out. I mean, it's obviously a company with a great future, and I just hope they push it just that much further. But the point of this was to determine whether double heading would help with pulling 18 carriages. In fact, it does. With 2 of these running on here, it absolutely walks away with 18. Doesn't matter how slow you run it, doesn't matter how fast you run it. 2 of these absolutely pulls 18 of these without any kind of care in the world. So there you go. In fact, what I will do here after this passes by is I will make this really difficult. I will start this on a curve with the bulk of the train behind the curve, and I'll start it off really slow. These 2 are going to pull this at this speed all day long, all around the track, and it doesn't matter. So really adding 1 more onto the mix is what you want to do if you want to roll all 18 of these. And there were some things that I did to help this. Firstly, they were pretty closely matched out of the box, not quite perfectly, but I did switch them to 3-point speed matching. I have a video on that if that'll help you out, but I certainly did that. But one big change that you're going to want to make if you want to double head these is you want to make it so that they start to move as soon as you give them the command. You don't want to wait for the motors to spool up, because the way that Accurascale has these things set up, the sort of the acceleration sound, the spooling up sound, or whatever it is, that kind of runs at different intervals depending on how long the locomotive's been sitting and a bunch of other factors. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set CV 124 to 0 on both of them, and that way they'll start to pull out at the same time. You don't have to worry about whatever sound file they're using and if it's spooling up, that kind of thing. 124 to 0. So yeah, these are great locomotives. And what's interesting is I was starting to watch some other reviews on here, and certainly Accurascale has earned its following after a very short amount of time. Although what's interesting is somebody asks, are these the best ready-to-roll models ever made or on the market right now? And their answer was yes. The answer is assuredly no. I mean, at least if you're talking about things that run HO gauge. But in any case, these are really nice. I really enjoy them. And heck, the fact that one of these almost pulled 18 of these without problems is pretty amazing. In fact, it did pull them, just had to give it a head of steam first. There is a concern I have about these, however, and that's when I put these down on my lock programmer. I can read from the chip inside and I can write to it, but when I actually try to test these with my lock programmer, it doesn't allow me to test. It actually conks out, and that generally tells me that there's too high of an amperage draw. And the only time I ever see that is when I have a steam engine and I turn it on and the smoke unit is automatically on. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. I'm going to have to put an amp meter on this to see what's going on, but it's a little bit quirky and I haven't had time to look into it yet. As soon as I do, I will report back with my findings, but it's really weird that I cannot actually operate these with my lock programmer. So it's something to investigate further, I think. And that's all I've got for you today. I'm going to continue on after this with my look into Chinese locomotives, and I hope you enjoy that. And I think I've got more British stuff coming in pretty soon. Actually, I think the TPE coaches are coming in pretty soon, so I'll look at those as well. And I think there's only 5 of those, so I might be able to use the magnetic couplers on those. So we'll see how that goes. Well, I'll go ahead and let the rest of this video run out for you, and I hope you've enjoyed this. Hey, take care, stay safe, happy model railroading, enjoy yourselves out there. Bye for now.